my story, my son's story is simple, and it's really, frankly, quite heartbreaking because it's something that didn't have to happen. We had just come back from a family trip out to Pasadena, California. We went to the Rose Bowl, and a week later, Tim went back to college. We said goodbye to him on, I think, January 4th, and a month later, he was dead. I mean, we got a call to say something happened, and there was no real information that was provided to us other than something happened and Tim was in the hospital. What happened was it was midnight at the Beta Theta Pi fraternity at Penn State, and as part of the bid acceptance, they were all coerced to go through a ritual which was called the Gauntlet, which was a series of drinking stations that all of the pledges had to go through. And Tim did that, and he was essentially given 18 drinks in less than 82 minutes. And I mean, if you think about that, and I've tried to have 5 or 6 drinks in less than an hour and a half just to see what it would do to me. And I mean, you can't do it. So 18 drinks in 82 minutes. And by the way, this is all on video and recorded. He obviously got very, very drunk very quickly. And Tim wasn't really a drinker. He didn't know how to be drunk, frankly. He fell down a flight of stairs, and you can see on the video that they carried his limp body up the stairs, threw him on a couch, and throughout the night, he came in and out of coherency. They were throwing cold water on him, throwing beer on him, and he just would never come out of it. But you could see throughout the night that he was in pain as well. Unfortunately, the fraternity members refused. Some people wanted to get Tim help, but the leadership refused to get him help, which he really needed. It turns out that he had a fractured skull and a brain bleed. He had a ruptured spleen as well as a collapsed lung. Throughout the night, you could see him, writhing around on the floor in pain all night. Finally, the next morning, they found him, and at about 11 o'clock, after debating for 45 minutes what to do, they did call 911, but they didn't give any information as to what happened. They just said, there was drinking involved, and he was not really coherent. So ambulance picked him up. They ended up flying him to Hershey Medical Center. We got the call. We drove there, and we were met with the chaplain when we got to the hospital. The helicopter was still at the hospital when we got there. And we got pulled into a room, and they told us our son was going to die. And I specifically asked the doctor, I said, if they would have done something when this first happened, would the results here be differently? And the doctor just looked at me, put his head down, and said, yeah, they would have. So, I mean, the simple message to the story is, if you see something like that, you need to help. You need to jump in, and you need to help people. The hazing that goes on, I had no idea about it. And when there's alcohol involved, it just gets exasperated. People don't think coherently. They don't make good judgment. They don't make good decisions. So you need to have the courage to stand up and say, no, we're not going to do it. And that's really what my wife and I and other parents are trying to do throughout the country. We're trying to get students to make smarter decisions, to say, no, you're not going to haze me. You're not going to haze them. And when you do, the other part of our mission is, as Senator Zaffarini, commented on, we got to hold people accountable, not just organizations. We have to hold individuals accountable, and we will do that. When I see something that happens now, I reach out to district attorneys and prosecutors and presidents of schools, and I'll say, what are you doing to the individuals that were involved here? And I put pressure on them, and that's the only way things are going to change. We were able to change the law in Pennsylvania. Sadly, it came as a result of my son dying. We're working on a change in law in New Jersey, again, as a result of my son dying. But we're not going to let it happen all in vain. We continue to press on and try to make changes in various states, working with the NIC and the NPC. But we really are trying to educate young people to just make good choices. And my God, if somebody needs help, you gotta call for help right away. There is no reason not to. If you're worried about getting in trouble, think about getting in trouble to the point where somebody dies on your watch. Then you're going to a courtroom. Then you're gonna have a parent like me trying to frankly pummel you. I mean, it doesn't make sense. If you're worried about getting in trouble, it's a slap on the wrist compared to what you will endure. And if you're in the room and this goes on, you can be held accountable for everything that happened. So make the smart choice and just get somebody help if you need it.